take care of those who are less fortunate, either be it bearing those who are less fortunate, school shoes campaign, sanitary pads campaign. And some of those campaigns, unfortunately, this year, they did not kick off because of challenges that we had faced. And the challenges that we had faced are more between the management and the board of directors of the radio station. We are aware that board of directors for community radio stations are elected. So the board of directors that are elected for Jozi FM, unfortunately for us, we felt that they are no longer serving the purpose to the fullest in terms of how and what they're supposed to do. We haven't had an AGM, for an example, to account and give a report back to the community that we are serving. But also over and above that is that some years back we had received, when I say we had, that is Jozi FM SMRC funding from the NLC. So the chairperson of the board then was able to secure funding from NLC, National Lotteries Commission, and funds were dispersed to us. According to the files at NLC, it's 24 million. We had received initially the 12 million that came directly into our coffers, to our account, and the board therefore said that for the purpose of accountability, we should open a second account, which was done by the board and myself as the CEO, so that those funds are moved into the NLC account, so to speak. So therefore it means those accounts, those monies will be accounted for and audited separately from our day-to-day account or day-to-day account that we have at FNB. So we are at the stage where the funds were dispersed as far back as 2013. To date, we have no idea what happens to the funds. No one is coming to the party to say this is where we are. An AGM hasn't happened. Elections haven't happened. So it therefore means that we are stuck where we are trying to establish what really happened. Why did we receive the funds, and why did the funds not do what they were supposed to do? What we were informed in a board meeting was that there was a beautiful plan, in fact, that was shown to us by the board. The chairperson of the board showed us a beautiful plan of us moving to a property that was going to be built by those funds. To date, we haven't seen that. The last thing we saw was this beautiful plan that was shown to us more on a laptop that the architects have worked on, 3D, with all the the frills looking beautiful and all of that. Unfortunately, to date, we have yet to see that building. We were informed that the building will be built, go precinct there, so to theatre. So there was negotiations, we believe, with the city for that. But as I'm saying, as it stands to date, we have not seen not even a single brick, no equipment, because we were hoping we'll have state-of-the-art equipment, and obviously being the biggest community radio, we were expecting that we should get the kind of equipment that will reflect who we are and how we do our work. So in a nutshell, this is what the management of Jozi FM is crying about, which where we used, was this like a money laundering? That money was taken maybe from NLC and the organization used, and that money we do not know where it went, we do not know what it did, we have no idea. So we're standing here concerned with it. How can such funds disappear, and we are not being informed or updated, neither is the community knowing which we had received funds, and this is what the funds did. We were hoping that by now we would have launched that state-of-the-art building with state-of-the-art equipment and so forth and so on. So we are standing here really puzzled and disturbed by and many other things that happened between me trying to inquire what happened to the funds, that I have become more like an enemy to the chairperson, because I am the one person who sits in the board, and when I inquire, it started about 3 years ago to say, when I started inquiring what happens to the funds, the issue was that then they must get rid of me. Started questioning my contract, when is it expiring, and so forth. So I don't know if I was gone, it would have meant that no one was going to query about the money. But that is where we are at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. We are really disturbed as management at Jozi FM. As much as we have an obligation to work and deliver to the community, but also it just becomes unfair if we are being used by individuals, to raise funds using the organization's name. So all what we are saying, we've been asking for clarity, and we are not receiving that kind of clarity. And we are hoping that the community will know now where do we stand, so that as much as they want to find out why are we no longer doing activities as we used to, we're no longer doing school shoes campaigns, but because we've been derailed, we've been, at some point in Mina, I was sent a letter that I'm fired, so obviously I was disturbed, and only to find that the other board members to say, well, now they know nothing about that. So I was reinstalled with the assistance of our attorneys. So there's been a lot of discrepancies. As I was saying, AGM hasn't happened. Elections have not happened. So it means people just either want to hold on to this, either to cover the issue of the funds that are, I don't know, I should say missing or disappeared, because we've seen the 12 million coming to our account, and then that 12 million was moved to an account that was going to be the one that is for this NLC project. And according to NLC, it was 24 million that was eventually dispersed to us. And as it stands, we do not know what happened to the money. We are obviously committed to the work that we do. You'll be aware that we have been on air. We have never disturbed our own air activities. Everything has been running smoothly. We are ensuring that our mandate as a community broadcaster is stuck to, and irrespective of the challenges that are very disturbing, very almost destroying, because when you know that I come to this office, there's money that was allocated to us, but we do not know. So it's for me, it's some form of some corruption that could be happening. That even NLC is not coming to the party with us when we try to inquire about it. This money was dispersed to us, but we are not seeing any report back to say this is the building, these are things that were bought. No equipment, no building, no nothing as it stands. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mtongo. Colleagues, it's now time for your questions. You can address the questions to the management of Jozi FM. So how we should do it, just say your name, the media house you are from, and then we'll take a set of questions and then give an opportunity to the CEO to respond. Should there be a follow-up question, and that can be asked in the next set of questions. All right.
So my name is Clark. I'm from the ST just want to know how much is unaccounted for in total. Okay. And when was the last AGM?
Okay, so those are the two questions. The first one is how much has not been accounted for, and then the second one is when was the last AGM. Okay. All right, Jozi.
I'm from Soweto TV.
So I missed you?
No.
No.
Yes, Soweto TV.
Okay.
I think my question is, will there be any accountability for those responsible? And I think it's similar to you mentioned the 12 million in your media invite out of the 24 million. Is that does that mean that you are able to account for the rest? And then you also mentioning there was supposed to be a building that was to be built. What exactly were these funds for? The whole 24 millions? What were they for? Exactly, yeah.
Any other question before we give the CEO an opportunity to respond? All right. Over to you.
Thanks. Your accountability. I think that's what we want. We just want the funds will just put together Neako What we are saying is that we need clarity. why did the NLC disperse the funds, and why are we not seeing what the funds, are doing? But also bear in mind that we were just informed of the funds when the funds were secured. We were not part and parcel of putting together a proposal for that. Obviously, the board members, have a right to fundraise for their NGOs, and which when that came to us, it was like, good news that we've secured funds as SMRC, Jozi FM, and these funds will go towards building this beautiful structure that will house us and with equipment, state of the art, as mentioned. So when it comes to accountability, it's a matter of saying, where then did that money go? And obviously, it's the money that was in control of the board of directors of Jozi FM, SMRC. So it means it is them who must come back and say, here's the money, here's what it did. If the money is still there, then it still is okay for us to say, here's the money. Then the question becomes, why did it take so long? Why are we not using it? And if we are unable to maybe secure the spot, shouldn't the money have gone back to NLC so that it goes to someone who needs it, who will use it? Because if we did not build, then it means the money is sitting somewhere. And that money should therefore go back to NLC, because if it was meant for a certain project, we are aware that NLC is meant to help those who are less fortunate. Obviously, there are lots of projects in South Africa that needs funding. So we were, lucky to have been those who were chosen, or who were lucky to get that grant. But as it stands now, nothing has happened. So obviously the board needs to account, what did the money do. Obviously, AGM should be held annually. We do not have an AGM 2024. And the last one was 2023, Obviously, this was around the time that I was starting to inquire, what is happening with these funds? Why are why is the board not coming to the party and say, this is where we are? Because obviously, we were hoping by now, we got the funds in 2013, it's like more than 12 years now. Nothing has happened, So people who are supposed to account are the ones who received the money. We received the 12 million, yes, as you're rightly stating, but that 12 million was the first tranche that came into our existing account at Jozi FM SMRC. And therefore the board decided that money should be moved to a new account that should be opened, so that when they do when they do the building and whatever that they're supposed to be doing, it is outside of the normal or day-to-day account. Because day-to-day account, remember, there's petty cash, there's this that is done on a daily basis. But because this one is for a project that is specific for an NLC to help us get us to another level, it never took place. So we are aware of the 12 million, but when we checked with the records of NLC, there was another 12 million that came through to the new account and not to our account. So our account reflects that there was 12 million that was moved to an account that was specifically opened to manage this project, which we have not seen. We are not seeing assistance. So in terms of the money, we only know that. Unfortunately, also we did not have full information on what the proposal that went out. Remember, I'm saying to you, we're informed of that funds were secured. That's what we know. It's just that the routine. Ladies and gentlemen, have secured funds from NLC. We're going to take, and we celebrated thinking, unfortunately, that dream is still yet to be seen. So it's the board that must account to it, and unfortunately, that has not happened to date. So we are hoping that, the law should come through and help us in here. Because how else, can we get the relationship between the radio station and the board, or the chairperson of the board, is very sour. It's not at its peak, unfortunately. It's the morale, is very, very low. we are just pushing and doing the best to ensure that we deliver on our mandate as a community radio station. Over and above that, it hasn't been a very good year for us. Much as we're supposed to be celebrating 30 years, it's been very tough. As I said, at some point I was fired. At some point, some of my managers harassed. So it's just been a roller coaster of the year. And obviously, because the authority says that we need to have a board, and obviously, board is the one that is accountable. But as it stands, remember also the board of community radio stations may raise funds for organization. Hours dates, but you don't know what happened. If that is, they raised them for us. I hope I did answer.
Are you able to name names?
Yeah. In our press statement, we have all the board members appearing at the bottom of our. Which is board members, Chairperson Mr. Rapid Munso, Deputy Reverend Dokas, Chief Executive CEO is myself, and then Ms. Carol Janji, Ms. Adelaide Moralo, Dr. Tulani Mhlongo, and Mr. Vusi Tusi. Those are the board members.
So when you say the law must take its course, what do you mean?
We are saying we've been inquiring, but as you'll be aware that you can only inquire inside for so long. But if you are reaching a point where you are being treated, with hostility, because where else? Because we had to go to NLC and say, but you dispersed funds, and what were the funds for? And we've been moved from pillar to post, unfortunately. So funds came out, but which means that at the end of the day, we then have to say, we've also informed ICASA. Because tomorrow we don't want to say the license holder, the licensee got funds. Because we believe that we got the funds because we are a licensed organization to be on air. So obviously, if the licensee gets funds, we should be able to report. We should have reported back to the community and to the authority. So we are saying that we are hoping the authority must be the ones that just deal with this matter moving forward.
There's a question on that side. Any other question?
So, just to confirm that you have not opened the case against this one?
There is a case that has been opened.
For?
Pardon?
For? Is it fraud?
Well, obviously, they will then wanna put it in a category. We just went and said, look, we have this problem. There's funds that came in and they disappeared. So they could call it fraud. They could call it. Yeah, when we went, they told us that it will be the magistrate or prosecutor who will decide which is it. Is it fraud? Is it money laundering? Is it so? Or is it theft? Because it could be just theft, it could be fraud, it could be. So we had left it to them to decide which is it theft? Is it money laundering? Is it? It's up to the law to decide and inform us.
When did you open the case?
Do you have date? Was it March, April?
The case was opened in May.
May.
Yeah, so I think for the benefit of every media house, what we'll do is we'll share with you the case number so that you confirm with the
investigating officer.
Yeah. Because I think with that they will confirm, the nature of the case, whether it's theft, corruption, or money laundering. Okay. Sydney, and then
good day. Just a quick one. Is NLC aware of such an issue?
Definitely. NLC is aware. Hence, we're able to get information which the money dispersed was more than the 12 million that we had received. It was, in fact, 24 million.
And the reaction was?
Well, initially I said 21 days, they'll come back to us. It's been 21 days ever since. So we are not getting anywhere with them, unfortunately, as well.
So the issue's been investigated both by SAPS and NLC corruption line. So we'll share with you both references.
So we have a reference and from them, and then we have a case number from the SAPS.
Okay. Yes. And then there's a hand move. Oh, do you have a follow-up question?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then there's a hand.
Thanks. I'm not from the media house.
Yeah.
I'm just more like a community leader. And just worried about how this Jozi FM has been helping people, and when such comes up, it's a worrisome. Are we going to lose our favorite station because of corruption? This sounds more like a Madanga commission of some sort. But I find out how is the National Lottery Commission helping in this case, because they should have, not really all the answers, but they should be the one pushing hard, because this is pure corruption. And are they also involved in this? Because if they're not involved, they should have wanted to pin it down as quick as they can. Are there maybe any suspicions that they are also part of all of this? Because when somebody comes and say, I've managed to secure funds, and it's going to help us to better our organization, we all get excited.
True.
And we're thinking, oh, it's coming from, a well-known organization that's going to help us. And then money comes in, we're happy, the first amount is in, and then the second one comes. It's nowhere to be seen. The relationship between Jozi FM and the funders, is there any joy from your side?
Look, I think we needed to just give them space to do the investigation. I think it's only fair that as well. Much as sometimes you wish things to be speeded up, but if investigations take time, we just need to believe that they will eventually come back to us and say, we've done our investigation. If they come back to us and say, here, the money was meant for 1, 2, 3, and here it is done, here's a report, then we'll understand. As it stands, we don't have such. As stated earlier, when the money came, we did not put together a proposal. I have never seen that proposal. But the chairperson of the board came to us and said, I've got good news. The good news that I've secured funds for us. So I think, and obviously me being the CEO also, because I report to him, obviously I have limitations in terms of what I do. They have a right to fundraise for us. And which is a beautiful thing that we were happy with all. So the board went out and raised funds. Here is, and the first tranche came 12 million, and then we were told we must open a separate account for the purpose of managing it, so that it does not clash with our day-to-day account. And that sounded like beautiful. And that was it to date. So my raising it is like I become like an enemy of the organization by questioning why.
No, Sydney and Rich and then Sydney.
Okay, my name is Rich. I'm not with any medium for now, but I'm just was concerned because I'm part of, I feel I'm very much part of the station because the station is my family. So if anything happens, I just got, based on the other mediums that sometimes send me their press, so I just got told of this and then I told myself, maybe let me just really find out. But what I needed to find out, especially from you, the movement, the money movement, because you actually made mention that a certain amount was put firstly, and then you were told that for a proper management of the project, it's best to move the money to a different account. But were you part of that movement, and are you part of any signings that are done within that money which has been moved to a different account? Obviously, you need to be part as the CEO. If there's anything they want to do, or the purchase, or to make that building, or to buy anything for the station, I think you should be informed or sign somewhere. They can't be just doing their own as they wish.
Let's look at another.
Well, just to follow up. Obviously, Jozi FM is constituted by the board. So therefore, what was the reaction of the board following this alleged?
All right. The first one, yes, Mr. Twala, as a CEO, I'm part and parcel of the activities that are happening in the real estate. And obviously, the movement of the money, the opening of the new account, I was part and parcel of that. But as to after the movement, what happened to the money, because obviously if you have 3 people and 2 can sign, so the other 2 obviously continued to disperse the funds. If they did, because as I'm saying, the money could still be there. Remember, we don't have access to that account much. We only have this account that we have. So if the money moved to that and what happened thereafter, this is transparency that we're asking for more than anything else. When it comes to the board, unfortunately, we do not have a united board, just honest with you. You know, some board members felt threatened and so forth and so on. Other board members are still also are questioning, trying to find out what happened to the money. These are some of the board members that came after the money, you know, was granted to us. So they also want to find out what is happening to the money, to a point where we really haven't had a good meeting with every one of them sitting and being happy. So some board members know, others don't know, in terms of, or let me say, some board members may know what happened with the money, others don't know what happened with the money, because they were not in control. They came in when the funds were already, I think maybe a year later they came in and find that, oh, there are funds to do ABC, you know. But the issue then was that, no, we are struggling with the city of Joburg to secure the piece of land that is being negotiated, go Soweto Theatre Precinct, you know. But the plans were there. We saw them. We were like, you know, hoping and looking forward to. But obviously, as you know, that plans and things take time. So if you want to go and build somewhere, and especially in a precinct that perhaps has its own plans, so integrating us there, we thought that was the issue that is delaying and taking us long to get it off the ground.
So simply put, the smells of corruption.
Hey, Sydney. Look, we are concerned. We are concerned as the management of Jozi FM, you know, and obviously it does look like there's corruption. It does look like it's corruption, especially because nobody comes to us and say, here's the money. We don't have a report. I, as a CEO, I cannot account to the community. I cannot account. And this board is supposed to account to the community and say, these are the funds that we received, and this is what happened to the funds. I can tell you that for sure there was 12 million, and I can show you that 12 million went to that other account. And the report from the NLC says that it actually became 24 million. And I can't tell you therefore that what happened. We don't even have a single brick, not even a microphone was bought. All that we have, all what you see here as Jozi FM is what the team has put together on their own. Nothing from the board.
All right. There's another question. Any other question? Okay, there's two. Richard, there's a...
Yeah, maybe that's just the last one for me. Okay, apart from the meetings that you have, or the AGM, which didn't happen, the last one, 2023, but obviously there should be continuous or monthly meeting, if not, I don't know the duration of the time before you actually meet with the board, but there should be, from that situation until now, there should be obviously some couple of meetings that you had with the board itself, including everyone and those who decided to actually move their account to the different. But what are they saying? Is there no one, like a meeting where the board will say, okay, guys, let's just iron out everything now. Let's know who's wrong here, so that it's even not go too far, or someone getting arrested or something.
I think I share the very same sentiment with the gentleman, Uti. What other ways, maybe as communities, can we help? Because there's definitely accountability that needs to happen. What are the chances that you can call a meeting as a CEO with few community leaders to say, we want accountability, we want to know what's happening, because these funds are supposed to be helping the communities with all the work that Jozi FM has been giving out to communities. We want to know what happened to the money.
From my end, is the MDDA aware of such?
Okay.
All right, thanks.
All right. Mr. Twala, yes, we do have, we used to have meetings. The requirements that we must have 4 meetings per annum at least. And believe me, we had those meetings. But you must also remember that the chairperson draws up the agenda and the chairperson directs the meeting. So the meeting will happen the way the chairperson directs it. And unfortunately, because as I said earlier, when my raising issues, especially this issue, became a problem that, and not only just me, in fact, even the management had even written a letter to the board and say, we are concerned, we have these issues. So to date, the board has not responded. I think the first response was that they must get rid of me. Mhlambe yimi Bundwane, who's now, so I'm guilty of telling the truth, basically, to saying this man that came in and questioning it and asking for transparency. Because sometimes things are just delayed with, hey, we're still busy with that. And eventually you start focusing on other things. If you can look at the work that we've been doing over the years, we really moved away from that until it came back again with Diamond. There's something missing here. There was this, we just focused too much on the work, on the day-to-day, that we eventually sort of like forgot about, which the NLC had come through to fund us. And now say Yavel. So yes, we have those. We've had that meeting. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to say the board, but obviously not all the board members all the time attended, especially when this thing was starting to brew. We would say, why am so money? And those were not getting the answers. We would say, where's the money value? Started pulling back, and they were victimized to a point where they were saying we are resigning because this thing is not on. We can't sit somewhere where it's corruption money. No one wants to account. So not all board members are happy with the situation. In fact, others to a point where they had even written a letter. We no longer have the confidence in good chairperson because it's not doing whatever I show. It's up to what he wants. So that's where we are. Community and community leaders. Then you say. I think we are at a level where this is one of the first steps. I think for myself, for the past 3 years, I think I've been trying to get this thing going. I think now we are maybe now crying out to everyone to know what's happening. No man, let's resolve this. Let's find answers so that we don't run out there before one information. But seemingly, I'm not being given the information that I believe it's what will help us. Because I report back to the management. I have meetings with the management. They always ask, so latest, nothing. How? Why do you mean nothing? Like nothing. To a point when I said, guys, I'm not winning, and they saw that I was, at the beginning of the year, I was sent a letter that I was suffering like Jozi FM. Because maybe I'm boozer too much and boozer and go. So I'm hoping that whoever that reaches or whoever that listens, that ever will now see, but in fact, why are we no longer doing what we used to do? That's what worries me the most. We no longer, yes, on air we are delivering, but the activities that we used to do, they're no longer there. We used to be at schools, delivering school shoes, helping kids with, uniforms. But because when we are demoralized, when we are consistently under attack, which anytime when I get rid of you, when you become an enemy of the organization, because you want to expose the truth, you are asking things that should be asked. When it comes to MDDA, Sydney, I think they'll know from now on. We're not getting any funding from MDDA, and for simple reason. We have a lot of community stations in South Africa, and if all of us want to run to MDDA, it will not be fair because MDDA, we do not have the funds to fund everyone else. But because Tina, we believe that we are capable, we'd rather afford others opportunity to raise some funds for MDDA. So we don't have to, all of us, go to MDDA and take funds there because we then become lazy with the hope. As I told you, so fortunately for us, I would say that we became a team that says, let's go out there, let's work. So that we give others opportunity to be able that goes. Those, especially like in rural areas, they can't do much advertising, so then they can go to MDDA. As for us, we'll work, we'll sell airtime, we'll do projects, we'll do events, we'll raise funds by any means possible. We are within a metro for that matter, so it means it's possible. It's entirely up to us to take this organization to another level. So hence we have not informed MDDA. Though MDDA used to also send stations here to see this Jozi FM, how we do it. We'll then share our blueprint on how we do business. So yeah, on that case, on that note, no, we have not necessarily spoken to anyone. In fact, we are the first people outside, besides the NLC and ICASA, to talk about this.
My last question. You say you have a letter that says Osafune. Do you have the copy? Can you share it with us?
I would. It's yeah.
Was it from the board? If it was from the board, why is he here?
Okay. So the letter said so. But of the 6 board members, the other 5 board members distanced themselves from that. They sent voice notes and because they have a group, and said, "I menangazi next calendar. We use it. We born it." So obviously it means this one person concocted and wrote this as part and parcel of the board, and that person was never part and parcel of the board. That person was never part and parcel of the 5 that, because when he decided,
it was not a collective.
It was a collective. Yeah, it was never a collective decision. It was his decision when he got home and said, "Hey, lozo mphazamisa, ay mangamsusa la. Magasuka yena mhlawumbe umoya uzo." Unfortunately, the other board members, because I think I received the letter on a Friday afternoon. On a Sunday, all other board members had distanced themselves, but we do not know. Hence, I was able to take that to the attorneys and say, "Can you help here?" He said, "This is null and void." So then that's why other board members started saying to Norman, "This is bigger than what we're seeing. How do we then make decisions on our behalf when we did not agree with this man must get rid of him?" So in South Africa, Mawa whistleblower, you become an enemy. So I'm the victim now, exactly, because I'm a whistleblower. It means, yeah.
Also, we need to know that boards act on resolution. So we take resolutions, and then you can't just serve someone with the letter if there's no resolution. So you can actually see what is going on there. Zandi, if there are any other questions, we'll take the last set of questions, and then those who wish to have a one-on-one, please indicate. The CEO is still here for an hour or so.
Last from my side, it looks like most of the executive of the board members are actually not happy with this one, with the chairperson, if I can say. What measures are you putting? Why don't you guys vote him out? So that, because he seems to be a problem. It's not just to Jozi FM, but the community at large, because everything that's happening here is affecting the community. Why are you guys not voting him out?
You must remember, okay, sorry, through chair, is that he's the one that must call for an AGM. If tomorrow I come and say AGM, obviously it will be qualified. Remember, I'm an employee, and in terms of what the CASA regulation is, that he is the one who should be calling for an AGM, and we are hoping that it should be called sooner than later. So ICASA is aware of what is happening. In fact, there's been meetings, very funny things I do. There's been meetings between us and ICASA, but they never get to raise these issues. The problem is the money. It was the money. That's why we are saying, don't use us. If that money was meant for something else, why did it come through us? Which means at the moment, if you want to go to NLC, Marasan niggas are 24 million. So it means we are disadvantaged as it stands. And also that would hate, I think Sydney asked was it you in the license or ICASA? It would be unfair, very unfair, which the community must suffer and not getting, or license must be suspended because of an individual. Are we basing the work that we do on an individual? That would not be fair. You can't therefore decide because one person decided to take money and use it otherwise, if that is the case, and then you decide we suspend the license station. Are we not delivering in terms of our license requirements? We are. If there's just one area of concern, it means let's deal with that one area without necessarily revoking license or as far as you are concerned as management, we are feeling it would be unfair for ICASA to take a decision based on one individual who, because it's not that individual who applied for the license, it's the community. You know, if it was to be said the community as a whole, yes, then it's different. But if you're saying it's an individual, then it's something different.
So you guarantee the community that there won't be any raiding very soon?
Look, I cannot guarantee anything, but I think common sense tells us, as Jozi FM, SMRC, we did nothing wrong. But there's an individual that obviously our name is tainted, that we cannot run away from. But also that if there should be any raiding, and everything that is in here, in fact, we have paperwork for it. We bought it, we work every day, 24/7. Everything you see here, we did ourselves. Not from any funder or a grant funds or no one has. It is what we put together. It is us and other business people who, like when we do school shoes and stuff, and we'll obviously put that up and say, here's 10,000 from this organization, here's 10,000 from this company, here's so much money. People bring in money, we buy, we report back, people see it in terms of what we do. The question has been that, send a quiet, send a silent, why are you no longer doing things? Because we are disturbed, you know. But also we're trying to keep the morale staff, on the other hand, sharp, so that they must deliver. They need to deliver at the end of the day. Let us deal with the other issues as management at Jozi FM. But let's not take away, which we have an obligation to serve the community. So, Sydney, I'm just hoping we won't have any raids and coming in. And especially because, remember, the funds, if the funds went into an account, then it's a different, you know, the funds went to an account that we believed was ours, you know, but the disbursement of that was done by the board. And as to how, we do not know. As it stands right now, as I'm saying, not even a single brick. We saw the beautiful plan, you know, 3D with all the floors and studio equipment is going to be here, reception is here, you know those, yeah, and we're like, you know, yeah.
Last one from...
Yeah, maybe for me just to thank the CEO for, you know, his coming out to the media, let it be all known, you know, just to put everything on the table. But I think the way forward here to actually solve, like the sister just mentioned, to do away with this other board member who's not taking us forward, is to do the very same AGM, you know, because that's where you actually involve the community, and then you just put the everything on record to display to the community, and then people, the community themselves will be able to see that you have been let down by just only one person, and we can't allow that.
Yeah, we have Soweto Media Forum that I was saying it's the forum that consists or makes up Soweto Media Resource Centre. So this forum is NGOs. So these NGOs have met, I must update you, they've met, they are aware of what is happening, but obviously the court said, what did you say, Mr. Dire? The chairperson must call for the AGM.
Yeah, effectively, it's a legal process. What is happening is that we need to go to court and effectively ask the shareholders who are the member organizations to actually force the chairperson to call a meeting. Obviously, in that meeting, those issues will be dealt with, including removing the board. So the matter is actually recorded this week to actually force the holding of the meeting and eventually the removal of the board. So we are in that.
So it's on a court roll, eh? Yeah. So we've had to report, unfortunately, because it's becoming. We want to get our lives back. You know, we want to work like we used to do. We want to be out there and doing the work that we are used to doing, and not being worried if somebody's behind me, somebody, you know, wants to get rid of me. Obviously, we are opening ourselves to maybe other attacks, because you know where there's corruption, you know, our lives can be in danger. And especially when there's so much money involved with it. So it means I'm also putting my life in danger. The management is putting its life in danger. If people took the money and ate it, do you think they're just going to roll over and say, no, that's it? You know, there may be retaliation. We do not know. So we just hope and pray we are safe all the time. Moving forward, but we know there's danger. We know stories of people who are coming out. What happens to them? So we are putting our lives.
Are you considering getting bodyguards?
What are the costs of that? We need to remember we are merely an NGO that raise funds and do the work. So our hope is that we continue doing what we were doing before without having to now work raising funds for having bodyguards. I mean, do we need bodyguards? We are community members, Tina, here. We are part and part of the civil society. That's why we are everywhere where there's anything communities doing. So we don't want to be seen like we're now these people who must be, going with bodyguards. Maybe the day I become a big pastor with bodyguards. I've seen them. But yeah, unfortunately, we are hoping that it doesn't get to that. We are praying. But we also are aware. We've sat down with the management and spoke about it. We know what happens to people who come out and tell the truth. Because whoever that child the money, if the money was child, it's not going to just be at ease now, So yes, we are concerned about our lives. I'm concerned about the lives of our management and everyone else.
All right. Is there anyone who is asking for a one-on-one with the CEO? If not, you want to. Okay. So seeking wants a one-on-one. Are you fine? Everyone. You also will. So I think what we'll then do, we'll take the one-on-ones.
Come, hey, actually said this thing. I was never.
So we'll take the one-on-one into the office. In the meantime, there's